Oh, geez. Hi. Hello. Hello. Oh, hi. Sorry about that. I was getting ready for Valentine's Day, and I was thinking about how getting the perfect gift is sometimes hard. And sometimes if you want to give the perfect gift, it needs to be. But but for the most part, most people stick with the tried and true, testaments of love, right? Whatever. Watch Mad Men and you'll see what John Draper does anytime he comes back when after he does something that he shouldn't do, right? But I'm thinking you have standard flowers, which is mostly roses. I always thought, get her something different than roses. Everybody gets her roses. Or him roses. Or whoever roses. Right? Everybody gets roses. Why don't you be creative? Right? If you're, unless your partner isn't into that side, then maybe just go with the staples. But you got candy, you got chocolates, you got roses, you got all sorts of traditional gifts, right? Now, those are things that I think you would give, even if you're little, you'd give to your mom, or you'd give to your, whatever, your high school, or you're married, right? That kind of stuff. But there can't be enough said about the romantic gesture. Now, not jester, because that would just be weird. The romantic jester. Oh man, fuck, this might be the title of this episode. Anyways, we have those sorts of staple gifts. But what can a person do that's creative? Because if you watch my last video, where I ranted about dating a little bit, I talked about how it's those connections, it's those little things that matter in the grand scheme of things, right? Especially in a long-term relationship, if you don't have those pieces, it's going to be tough. But whether you're brand new, and if you're just dating someone, Valentine's Day is kind of a trick, almost, depending even on the age groups or the mental acuity of all involved, right? That's my dog. No one's celebrating Valentine's Day early. I'm on fire tonight. Right. So, depending where they are and what their, expectations are, I think it's something that could be discussed beforehand. Right? Because especially if you're new to relationships, you're not necessarily going to know what to do. And if you don't have someone, preferably someone who wants gifts on Valentine's Day to help them, right? I think of a friendly, young neighbor gal, right? Or whatever. This is what we want, or this is what I would like. I like the personal stuff. You want, write me a poem. Which in my younger days, I had a knack for doing. I'm not saying they were good, but I'm saying that, I think I shouldn't have mailed them because they went to the wrong people. Anyways, right, but there's those kind of little things that kind of be like, aw. Like I said in the last video, it's like, oh, I dropped the coffee off for you at work just because I was thinking about you. Aw. All right, not only does her heart melt, but all her friends' hearts melt. And I know that doesn't matter, but it's still kind of nice, right? Okay, so what kind of presents are we looking at, right? I'm not even talking about those of a more intimate nature. And even though we're going to talk about, I guess this would be emotional intimacy as I suck all the fun out of it, which is another Valentine's Day sometimes expectation. So again, you got to make that stuff clear. But what is your idea of the perfect gift? We're going to talk about intimacy in the sense of this is the person that you're dating, you're with. And early on, I think that would be the chocolates or that kind of stuff. And maybe, too, they don't need anything. That's why you guys got to talk about it, right? Because more mistakes and battles have been made and started because no one would ask, what do you want here? You know what I mean? Or, just those simple questions. Get to know them a little bit. I'm not saying you need to know everything because, man, people forget dates. People forget people. People who need people are the luckiest people of all. No, you forget those kind of things sometimes, and it's just what happens. And even though you can put it in your phone and mark little tabs and reminders, which is a really smart thing to do, gentlemen, things can happen. Or, man, you know what, I had to work late, there's something going on. In most parts, I think as you get older, people get more accepting because it's only just a day, right? What you here's a Hallmark card. What you have is eternal. You can spend that time together every day, right? Blah blah blah, right? But still, it's if you're hung up on traditionalism and the Roman Greek calendar, then chances are you'll want to do something on that date. So what do you do? And I'm going to go from a guy's point of view because I am a guy, because I've already established in my favorite episode, The Unemployable Counselor, this is my anatomy. Rated R, kids. What sorts of things? Like, do you take a few seconds? If you took a few seconds and wrote something, they either might be, this is the stupid fucking, the most horror, what is this, right? Or it might touch them because you took the time to do that. You would know your partner better than myself in some circumstances. But how do you proceed there? What do they want, right? If you can make those things, if you can kind of take that time and do that little, and I don't mean I'm not talking like a limerick, but it doesn't have to be a haiku either. But I'm no literary guy. I'm just a guy. So what do you do? What's your go-to? Is it like, hey, this is why you got to talk. Do you plan something together? And it's like, hey, you know what? Why don't we go eat? I was gonna say Vegas, but I don't know about the States. Well, you know what? Why don't we go to Montreal and watch the country's favorite hockey team, the Montreal Canadiens, play, right? Or hey, why don't we go this? Or some people it might be as simple as let's go to the casino, right? Or you know what? Let's go for supper, that kind of stuff. If you plan that kind of stuff, and then everyone leaves happy, and your chances of probably scoring that night probably increased by about. Now I'm not a mathematician, but I would say probably 68%. You thought I was gonna say 69%, didn't you? But I run a classy show. Okay, so you do things like that, it's going to just increase the feelings and the good vibes. So what do you want to do? If you forget it, not even a happy Valentine's Day, you're going to get frozen out regardless, because someone's going to get pissed off, because it'll just be well, it's almost midnight, I guess, right? That kind of stuff. And it just causes more issues, because and people get busy and they forget. But again, put a reminder in your phone. Because I'm thinking, if there's that side of the relationship, but then if there's the other, then you're looking at, it's good to talk about it still, because it's maybe people have sensitive nipples, right? I can't clamp them because I have a flaky skin condition, right? No oil on the chest because it'll look like dog peed on the carpet. Right? There's all those sorts of things to go, right? I'm a mouth breather, so ball gags could kill me, right? Those are good things to know. There's conversations you can have and talk with people about to see what they want and they don't. There's another video coming up as we rock towards Valentine's Day that I'm actually kind of looking forward to. Yeah. But anyways, it's those things that make it something that they want. And it doesn't have to be anything. You don't have to spend anything. It could be you know what, baby, I love you. Right? I don't say this much, but why don't we, do something for us or plan something for us? That's what I want to do. Right? Whatever. Right? Lay that cheese whiz on there. Right? And I don't mean that in a sleazy way. I mean, that's for the good of all. Right? The house runs better when people feel appreciated. Right? So that's something that you got to do. So you got your traditional stuff that you do in the beginning. And if you're a young guy in a relationship, there should be a limit. Oh, look, it's a promise ring to a promise that we might get engaged someday. If you're 18 and 19, to 45 and you're doing that and higher, there's an issue there, right? When they're young and starting out, it should be flowers or chocolates or, you know, a nice Hallmark card, right? Or there's when you pull the sappy, I'm gonna write a poem about how beautiful, you know, you are. Fred Flintstone did it, an episode of the Flintstones, right? That's when that kind of stuff can go. And I think as you get a little bit older, that changes, because once you've been, and not only talking about once you've been married and not, then your view changes completely. It's like if you're in a relationship, yay, Valentine's Day is coming up. If you're not in a relationship, I'm gonna get drunk and watch the hockey game, right? Like, who gives a shit? Like, it doesn't matter. And that, I think, is the epitome of all relationships. It's like we have to do stuff when we need to, and if we don't always do that, we win in the end. No. It's just like there's always, you get out of it what you put in it, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Because you got young guy with the chocolates, all that kind of jazz. In the middle, right? That's when things might, you know, start to get Mando, come here. Mando's getting over a lost love. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. You will find love again. There are more bitches in the pound. All right. Right? When you're in the middle, and it's hey. When you're in the middle and things start to kind of rock and roll, then you kind of build that stuff, and then you ask and you talk about it, right? And then you get where you need to go together, because you're both going the same way. It's like, hey, you know, I really like the velvety cat o' nine tails that we had at that party, right? That sort of stuff. And it's like, oh, and then, you know, and that's when the kind of role-playing, exploring, kind of fun stuff, right? Captain Kirk's going to launch a few torpedoes. That sort of thing happens during, that was awfully specific, happens during that period. And then as you get older, and maybe, you know, that stuff I'm sure will continue to a certain degree, but as you start doing other things, right? I guess this turned into my dissection of the 3 stages of gift giving in Valentine's Day. But I do think that anything you do should make it simple, make it nice, make it come from the heart, right? And if it's someone that needs to have something really, really expensive, then maybe you need to rethink your options. But what do I know? I'm a divorced guy with a dog that doesn't like love. That's what happens when you break bitches' hearts. Always sad. Anyways, if you like and you've stayed this long, thank you. I hope someone wakes you up soon. And like, share, and subscribe. And I would really appreciate if you would follow and share this all over the place, right? It's gonna be a good one. All right, take care. Thank you again.